What up, what up, what up? It's your man Sean P coming in live. This is the Sean P experience, man. I'm so excited. I was telling my man backstage, it's been about a year in the making. We've been talking about this. He was still probably writing the book. And I was already trying to get him on the show, man. So I'm so excited to finally have him here in the flesh. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing real good now that I'm here. We've been talking about this one for a minute.
Yes, we have. Yes, we
Yeah,
have, man. And I'm
yeah.
so excited that I finally able to get my hands on this and finally be able to read it and experience it, tear the city down, man. My man Andre Hardy. Come on, man. You gotta go out there and get this people. Anyway, you get your books, get your books lined up, man. This is fire, man.
Yeah, right on, right on.
Right. I totally enjoyed it. It was fast paced. It's a page turner. At no point did it ever like lull in the action. It's 400 plus pages, but it moved way faster than that, man. It moved quick. I enjoyed the characters, the action sequences, like just everything about it, man. I really love what you did with this project.
Ah, thank you so much, man. I worked on it. It took me a while to get my game together, but I finally pulled it together. And the story came to me, years ago, and I just didn't have the skill set to really write it. So it took me about 10 years to really write the kind of book that I wanted to write. Yeah.
See, on this podcast, a lot of my viewers are writers or people that want to write. So it's a very educational aspect to this podcast, man. So you saying that so many people came here talk about taking 10 years to write a book, 20 years to write a publication, man. So I'm glad you opened up saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes, like Miles Davis said, it takes a long time to sound like yourself. You know what I mean? It takes, you gotta put some work in, study the craft. For me, it was, studying the craft, learning about the people who'd come before me, right? Understanding many of the different genre conceits before I was able to really write this kind of book that you have in your hands. It took a while.
Let me do your proper introduction before we get knee deep into this thing, man. Going into the deep end, man. I have the former NFL player and amazing writer Andre Hardy here. He has written across multiple genres: creative nonfiction, essay, short stories, screenwriting, and long form narrative. His essays and interviews has appeared in multiple publications: Tribe LA Magazine, The Lunch Ticket, um, the Los Angeles Review of Books. His short story, Negro in the Hot Tub, was featured in Mate in LA. Short stories rooted in the City of Angels, written by Los Angeles-based writers. He was the fourth pick of the Philadelphia Eagles 1984
Yeah.
NFL draft. He's a member of the NFL Retired Player Association and the NFL Legends community. He earned his MFA through the NFL Player Trust Tuition Reimbursement Program. Let me ask you about that, man. Talk about transitioning from the field to the laptop, if you will, man. Like a lot of players have a hard time with that transition point, with their identity and everything like that. Spent their whole life playing with that ball, man. So talk about that part for you.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up. Like most guys, when I was done, I was struggling. I had a short career. It was, they thought I was going to be great, and I got hurt, and my career slowly dwindled. But there's a there's a death that happens when something that you've been so involved in, so immersed in, ends. And no matter how long your career, it could be a year, it could be 20 years, there's still that sense of loss when you're done. And for me, I didn't know it. I didn't know I was depressed. I didn't know I was struggling until it got to the point where I was in so much pain that I said, I got to do something about this. And I went into counseling. And so I went into counseling, and a part of this therapist that I was working with, we worked on dreams. And I kept having this reoccurring dream that ultimately she said to me one day during the therapy, she says, you're an artist. I know, all of this other stuff that you're doing. I was running a big company at the time. She said, you need to spend some time doing something creative, and I think it'll be really helpful for you. And that was when I really started to write. And that must have been around 2008 or 9 when I started tinkering with the idea of writing. And by 2011, I had entered UCLA's writing program where I met really my first mentor. So I'm working in UCLA's program, and I'm in workshop, and I figured out how to write a hell of a 25 pages, because that's all you get to do in workshop. But 25 pages don't make a novel. And so I could not figure out how to get the novel to work. I quit a couple of times. I started. Every time I quit, there was this little voice that said, man, you need to be writing. And so 2016, I'm talking to a friend of mine, one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game out of Ohio State, named Ray Ellis. And Ray says to me, he goes, hey man, have you heard of the NFL Trust? I'm like, nah, what's that? He says, there's a program where, you get free medical evaluations. And if you want to go to school, they'll pay for it. And I just thought, I got to get an MFA so I can really figure this thing out, what it is that I'm trying to do. And one of the analogies that I've been using about what happened to me in working on an MFA, there's a debate. Should you do an MFA or shouldn't you? And some writers say, nah, you don't need it. And other writers swear by it. For me, if you think about it, the best jazz musicians are classically trained. The best rock and roll musicians come out of jazz. The best R&B musicians come out of jazz. So at the center of this, this music, the music that is great, is classical training. And that's what happened for me in working on my MFA. I got classically trained, right? I learned how to interrogate narratives. I learned about the history of the genre. I learned about this tradition I didn't know nothing about. I didn't realize that Dr. Rudolph Fisher, a brother, had wrote a crime novel in 1932. I had no idea. I didn't figure it out until I get to grad school. And so all of that, once I got to grad school and got that classical training, I went in to grad school one kind of writer and came out another.
I want to piggyback on that real quick, man. I love music as well, hip hop in particular. But I told my friend earlier today, I said, what's the coincidence that Rakim always credits jazz for his cadence and what he's doing with the words? And then I heard a couple of days ago Busta Rhymes talk about speed rhyming. He said, I'm not trying to rap fast, but his daddy gave him some drums when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he learned musicality. He's trying to replicate what he's doing with the drums, with his words and his voice. So it
Yeah.
comes off like speed. But both of those guys, once again, have an actual musical background. And
Yeah.
most of today's artists have no actual musicality. And that's why it's a difference.
Exactly. If you think about, Tribe, they heavy in the jazz. Dad was jazz musician. So yeah, you're right. And the improvisation that is a part of jazz is what I like most when I hear a good rapper. Their ability to change cadence, right? To modulate their voice, modulate their delivery, their rhyme style. That's what I dig.
Let me ask you a question, man. So now you're doing these book events I'm seeing. You got book events, you got book tours, you got author talks like this. How does that parallel to the football experience? Like some of the same adrenaline or some of the same the payoff feeling you get? I mean, I know it's not a stadium of 100,000 people, but is there any kind of a relation?
Man, you would be surprised how parallel I'm finding both of these experiences, particularly the journey. So I'll give you two examples. You know, when you are on the journey to be a professional athlete, there's this aspect of training. You don't get to train when you feel good. You need to train whether you feel good or not. You need to show up. What's the same with writing? If you waited for every time you felt good to sit down and write, you still gonna be sitting around waiting. And there's this other aspect of, you know, when you get notes are like film study, right? So, you know, you play a game and on Monday you're in the lab watching film. You are studying, you're trying to figure out what worked, what didn't, and then how do you improve upon it. Well, notes are the same way. And here's what football did for me that sort of gave me a jump start. Man, I've been embarrassed in front of 60,000, 70,000 people. You know, been embarrassed, and you develop a thick skin around it. So when someone gave me notes on my manuscript or on my work, I never took it personally. I took it as an opportunity to get better. They see something in this work, that isn't landing. It's not working. I need to make it work. I need to make it clear. I need to go back and get better. Not say to them what young writers often say to me when I critique them on their work, that I'm not getting it. No, I get it. I get that this needs work, right? So, you know, those parallels between, you know, and I think, Sean, it has to do with anything that you're trying to do at the top of the pile, right? When you're at the top of any game, there are similarities in the journey. There are similarities, um, of when you get there, how to maintain it, right? All of these things are similar, and they're all centered around, you know, love of craft. You got to love writing. You have to, or you won't do the work. You got to love football, or you won't train. You have to love it, and then the love of it gives you an opportunity to be disciplined. And if I said to a young writer, I said, "Hey, listen, you're going to publish your book. Don't worry about that, but this is what you're going to have to go through. You're going to be rejected 10 times. You're going to feel dread. You're not going to know. The publishing industry is mysterious and people are going to doubt you, but you are going to make it." A writer would say, "I'll take that deal. Give it to me. I'll go through that if I know what the end is." But you don't get to know the end. you got you got to do it. You got to do it and get rid of the inner critic. Tell the inner critic to go sit down, and you just have to do the work.
Yeah, I agree. As a former athlete myself, coming to the book space, I feel a big advantage I have is like we have done so many things to ourselves physically, like staying up all night writing. That's nothing. Like that's the work. Stay up all night, right? Like I'm not doing suicides. I'm not running the
Yeah.
stadium. I'm not throwing up at practice. I'm not out there in the
Don't
100
be
degree.
saying you
Yeah,
saying suicide. You giving me the chills over here.
I just gotta write, or doing the line edit. I gotta go back and edit my work. That's it. Just edit
Yeah,
what I wrote, or change some things. Like that's the worst case scenario. Or
yeah,
do a live like this, or
yeah,
prepare for a podcast. Like this is so.
yeah,
So we done so many things physically. Where doing this is to me is like it's nothing, man.
yeah. And you know the love of it. The love is
Yeah,
what
the love, right?
the man. I love writing. I love books. I love story. There's nothing more exciting to me than picking up a new book and cracking it open, right? And that hope that you get that this author is going to take me away, you know, capture my attention and and bring me this incredible joy that comes with reading. So I love it, man. There's nothing else that I want to be doing.
So most times in sports, we all emulate somebody that inspire us to be a part of that thing. So in the writing world, who are some of the people that motivated you and inspired you? Like, man, I wanna try this. Who are
Well,
some of the people for you?
yeah, it's Walter Mosley. I mean, 100,000%.
My
When
mom is crazy about Baltimore. She loved Baltimore.
Man, the first time I read Devil in a Blue Dress, I was like, oh shit. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. Oh man, what is this? Right? What is it? And I've read the book at least 15 times, right? That book, and to me, in my opinion, 100 years from now, people are going to be saying Walter Mosley is probably the greatest writer to ever live. Just think about it. Think about what he's done. Walter Mosley doesn't have one crime series, he has three. He's got the Easy Rollins series, he's got the Leonid McGill series, and he's got the King Joe Oliver series. All of those are smoking. He writes science fiction. He just had a novel come out that is a love story. He writes essays. He writes craft books, and he does this while working on television. The man is incredible. He's incredible, and I so appreciate what he's done for me as a writer, in particular, bringing Easy Rollins onto the scene, who literally, arguably, is the first Black male character with full agency to hit the literary landscape. Game changer.
So for the audience, man, back to education. Think about some of those earlier crime fiction or urban fiction kind of guys, because my mom, once again, loves Walter Mosley. She loves crime fiction and stuff. I was telling her about Chester Himes recently and
Yeah. Oh,
Donald,
yeah.
Donald Goins and Iceberg Slim. And she was like, who was that? I was trying to put on game if you was. So tell us about some of the other people that we don't know about or hear about,
Yeah. So
that's on that level.
probably the most underrated of them all is Donald Goins, because he didn't earn commercial success, but they estimate that Donald Goins sold somewhere around 5 million books, right? And that is just an estimate, and we think that it's low because the company that he was working for was pencil whipping him on the sale so they wouldn't have to pay him. The man literally,
Now,
he sold so many books it ain't even funny.
let me tell you this. I was in the military, right? Back to San Diego. I was stationed in San Diego in the
Yeah,
Navy, U.S. Navy, right? We passed those books around the ship the same way guys in jails pass around books.
man,
Like you really can't count for that.
that's what I'm
How about
saying.
the OG putting the book in your hand? The books they were small back in the day. You fit in your
Yeah,
pocket.
right.
You fit my uniform, back pocket. We on
Yeah,
the ship pass around books like it's, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that's how it was, man. So don't Iceberg Slim, all those kind of guys, like you're saying, not really commercially, but in the hood though, in the
And
jails, on the low, it's going around.
right. And so an interesting thing that happened, when I was writing my book, one of the things that you hear is that Black men don't read. And I'm like, I don't know anybody that ain't read a Donald Goins book. Everybody I know then read at least 3, 4, 5 Donald Goins books. So there's Donald Goins, and there's another brother that I like called Clarence Cooper Jr. He wrote this book called The Scene. Check it out. It's smoking. So Clarence Cooper Jr., you mentioned Iceberg, and there's a whole other list of writers in this. If you go into and do some research on Holloway House. Holloway House was the publisher of Donald Goins, Iceberg Slim. They were their two marquee writers, but then there were other writers that were on their roster who are also really good crime writers.
And for a lot of us current writers, these people are the ones that once again motivated us, sparked us to want to even try this thing. We were looking at them,
Absolutely.
and that was the blueprint, and that's kind of sort of in our subconscious mind. We're trying to make scenes and make characters and things like that, you know.
Yeah, without them, there's no me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of the things I'm sure you caught in the book that I was constantly paying homage
You
to
was.
writers that came
Yes.
before me.
Yes.
That's
You
one of
did.
the things
You did.
that I'm gonna do because I know I didn't get here by myself.
No. So give the audience a slight elevator pitch for Tear the City Down. I don't want to spoil it. It's not a spoiler show, but I want to give a slight little elevator pitch to let them know what's going on with this before I get further in the question.
Okay, so if you think about it as if Easy Rollins met Ray Donovan, set in the world of professional sports, right? We've got a fixer who's climbed his way to the top of the pile. He's the right hand man of the apex predator in San Diego, but he meets a woman and he falls in love who asks him to change, to ask him to put his hustle down. And so the novel centers around this transformation that he attempts to make, his karma for what he's done, and what is the cost of redemption as he tries to change his life.
Yes, sir. Beautiful pitch, man. So your main character, of course, is a heavy music thing to this musicality. Coltrane. I
Yes.
noticed in the book he has the hustler commandments, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a personal code of conduct that he follows. Where did
Yes.
that concept come from? First of all,
Yeah. I think, you know, if you've ever been around, hustlers and the way that brothers used to hustle when I grew up, there was always a code. There were things that they would not do, right? They just that's against code. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna snatch a lady's purse. I'm not gonna run up on no kids. I don't do that. I'm not gonna snitch. So there was a code. There was a code to it. And I thought it was important in the novel because Coltrane is such a hustler that he lived by a code and a creed, right? He doesn't particularly like violence, but if you make him go there, he going. He don't want he does that's not his thing. He's really not into violence. However, the world is violent. And so he has to exact violence in particular situations, or else he would be consumed.
so the question is, do you have your own personal creed or a code that you live by personally?
I always have. I picked up I'm the young dude in the hood, and you know, no dad, right? So my influences and the people that I admired were the hustlers, right? Because the hustlers had the cars, they had the clothes or whatever, but they were always giving me game. Young brother, you got talent. Stay, go to school, go to class. Don't come over here. You don't want no part of this. You can make it. And so while at the same time, I'm admiring them, they're steering me away, from that kind of life. You an athlete, man, go play football. Don't be over here. We don't, matter of fact, you go home. You can't even come over here. And so that code in and of itself, the ability to although I'm out here and I'm in it, there's still a part of me that wants to nurture the young generation. And so if you think about what Coltrane was doing in the novel, he was in it But at some point, he's thinking about what have I done, and how am I going to nurture the young, the people that are coming after me. And so that that code is important to me for the simple fact that it exists. And unless you from the hood, you're not gonna know it. Because if you watch the news, you would think the news or social media would have you to believe there are no codes in our community. That it's just reckless and wild animals, and we just are savages going about. But that's not the truth. There is a code, and there more of us live by it than don't.
Yes, I know. Again, being in the military, you start gaining friends from all over the country, right? So being around guys from the Midwest, you have GDs and vice lords and other things, and then being in California, around
Yeah,
the California tip, being around actual guys. Of course, there's a code, and there was a known code. They talked about what they would and wouldn't do and how it go and structure. And I know these days a lot of those things are kind of removed, but like at
yeah,
the beginning of those quote unquote gangs, they had good intent for the community and for
absolutely,
older people and for children and
absolutely,
protecting the community. So they had a code of conduct, man. This the.
absolutely, absolutely. You getting the neighborhood getting turkeys on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? They passing out cash. You think about the Panthers in Oakland, man. Come on, free lunch, school, um, sports programs.
Medicine, healthcare.
Come on, they were in the community doing the work.
They're doing the work. They're doing the work. Yeah, yeah. That's right. Even on the TV series, The Godfather of Harlem, right? Even though Bumpy Johnson doing certain things, he still got a moral code. He still
Yeah,
got things he still wouldn't do. He's still trying to have balance to balance
yeah,
out the evil things he's doing. He's trying to do other things to show some balance.
yeah. Which is one of the themes in the novel, right? You you think about these the characters who are essentially stuck and contained by these systems of oppression. You're stuck inside of them and you're contained. And the question then becomes, well, what do you do to break free? How do you how do you break out and self-actualize? What is it? Because just as everyone wants to live in the house on the hill, so do I. But what are my means, given that I'm locked inside of this system of oppression, to get that? And it just so happens that the things that are available inside of Black and Brown communities are oftentimes outside of the law, right? And so
Yeah, man.
we start
Yeah.
making plays. You make a play
Hey,
here, you make a play there. You get yourself a little cash. You run it back, right? But
hey, man.
all of it all of it is about it's not about the criminality,
No.
which is what external forces will make you think. It's not about the criminality. It's about how do I self actualize, and I think money is going to help me do it.
Yes. Yes. Again, back to music. My favorite guy is Jay-Z, right? One of my favorite Jay-Z lines, he said, Father, forgive me. I never would have made it without sin. Like, I had to do these things. I never
Right,
would have made it without doing these things. I never would have made it without sin.
right,
I'm
right.
always thinking about that line.
Because if you think about it, if there's an option between making a hustle play or going to work at Subway, come on, nobody gonna go work at Subway, suffer all that, sandwiches, suffering, taking abuse. The thing that people want to do is to take that risk and then get the dough and do what Jay-Z did, start buying art, start buying buildings, and then turn around and give the money back to the people.
So of course you can't say too much, but like having that NFL background you've had and being around athletes watching the game, some of the things that happen in the underworld, were you able to like draw from some of that and put that in the story, or was it totally just imagination? Like it's totally, totally far fetched. Was any of it based on things you
No,
gathered? You know what I'm saying?
no, we ain't. We won't give no spoiler alerts, but
Oh, we're not spoiling, but I'm just
yeah,
saying.
no, but
Yeah.
man, being a professional athlete, you can end up in some crazy,
Yes.
situations. And
Yes.
I have been, man, I've been in some like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't know all this was happening. I didn't know it's time for me to go home.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's this interesting attraction that the public has to sports stars,
Yes.
right?
Yes. They
Yeah,
do. They do.
yeah. This obsession with sports stars. So the invitations are always coming.
Bro, you said it, man. I know a guy. He had a small drop of speck with the Saints, right? I mean, a flash in the pan. He's still treated to this day as if he had a 10-year
Come on,
career. Like
come on.
the jobs he get, the
Yeah,
offers he get, opportunities he get,
yeah,
just because you went to the practice squad for a little while, or you tried out, or you did the combine,
yeah,
and then, oh, come on, man, come over here, man, Drake's on us. Come over here. They
yeah,
give you whatever you want.
yeah.
So imagine if you are actually the guy.
Yeah, athletes live in a special universe that
They do. Yeah.
most people never get to. Well, interesting thing, I was a rookie with the Eagles, and I walked in to buy some chicken, and I'm in line, and the dude says to me, "Hey, aren't you Andre Hardy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh man, that's on me."
That's crazy.
And I look behind me, and the person behind me is the one that needed the free meal. I got money.
Yeah. That's
I
something,
got
man.
money, right?
That's
But
something, man. Ask this.
yeah, he want to give
Ask
me
this.
the free food because
Ask this.
I'm the athlete, but it's the person behind me that needs the look, not me.
See, you saying something right now.
Yeah.
My whole time living in Atlanta, I never understood. If I'm going to the club, you want to charge me more because T.I. in the VIP. Man, what did I do? Charge T.I. Don't charge me.
Come on, man.
I won't even see him.
Right.
I'm not shaking his hand. I ain't gonna see him back there. I don't know if he even here tonight. Y'all just
Right.
telling me T.I. in the back. Now
Right.
the club costs 150 instead of 25. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, right,
I never understood that.
right, right,
But the
right.
access is given, the bottles are given, the girls are given, the money. It just come whenever
Yeah,
you're at that certain pinnacle, you know?
yeah, yes, sir.
That's crazy. It's crazy,
yes,
man. It's
it's a
crazy.
it's a very, very interesting experience, which leads to what we were saying earlier, that why when it's over,
Yes.
it's like a death.
It's
Everywhere,
disorienting.
everywhere you go, you first in line, right?
Yep.
You're not waiting. People
Your
get
whole life.
stuff free. They patting you on the back. Da, da,
Come
da,
on,
and
man.
then all of a sudden it's over.
So think about it. If you're a real, a real 5-star guy, that been since probably junior high, the world is your oyster.
Absolutely. They spot you, and then you enter that special universe.
You going to
You
private school,
miss
Catholic school, you going to all your grades get waived. I mean, I know about all of that, man.
yeah, they fixing your problems,
Come on,
right?
man.
People coming to bat for you.
Come
That's
my house, all that.
yeah, but then that's because you're gonna make somebody some money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're gonna make
yeah,
somebody some
yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's usually
So,
money that they figure out a way to get back from you. They don't want you to keep it. They want you to, they want to put it in your hand, entice you to spend it all, and when it's all over, you go right back to where you came from.
but let me ask you an important question then, my man. What's your take on like today? Thank God we got all these athlete podcasts, we got music podcasts. People are talking about their experiences and their contracts and what happened. They get that voice now. You can't just suppress them.
Yeah.
But people always say, man, shut up and dribble, or shut up and play the game, or don't speak on these topics. What's your take on a person like you having a voice? You got a book, you got a pen, you can write certain things now. What's your take on that as an athlete?
Yeah. In my opinion,
Okay.
when you are given that much, that kind of platform, that those kinds of gifts, that rarity, you have a duty to do something.
Okay.
You
Okay.
have a duty to reach back and help. And maybe
Mhm.
it's not, maybe your thing isn't being public with it, but you do it behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
you have a duty to pay it forward. And the idea, I mean, historically, just think about Jim Brown, Kareem, Ali, right? They were, man, you gonna tell Ali to shut up and box? Or Jim Brown to shut up and run the football? Bill Russell, you know, he busting their ass on the court championships, but when it came time to stand tall, he was right there.
My brother, guess what? Right here in New Orleans, in a couple of weeks, we got Colin Kaepernick coming down here. His brand new book coming out.
Come on, man.
I bought my ticket last week. I got to go see that.
Yeah. That's my stable mate, man.
I got,
We both with Hachette.
okay, there it is then.
Yeah.
I got to call off for work. I got to get a rental car. Whatever I got to do, I got to go see that.
You gotta go see
Yeah, in
that.
person, man. I got to go see that. Support that, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah. So in your book, man, I realized that music is woven all throughout the story. So what role does music play in your own life is the question.
You know, I'm a huge music fan across all genres. In fact, I'm such a music fan. I mean, I was DJing in clubs when I was 15. If I were to spread this camera back, I got probably 3,000 albums in here in this room. And I grew up in a family where music was always playing. You know, Motown, we talking Temptation, Supremes. And so music has been the soundtrack to my life. There's always music playing. And, you know, music has this ability to mark important moments in our life. Think about how many times a song comes on and you can remember exactly where you were, exactly what the emotion was, even the smell of someone's cologne when that song comes on. So the thing that I did with the novel, I wanted to build an architecture around it using John Coltrane. So now when someone reads my novel and puts it down, years from now, when they hear that John Coltrane song, what are they gonna think of? They're gonna think of my book.
That was very smart. That was
Yeah,
very smart science right there. It's
yeah,
like doing about the book, you're literally naming the exact Coltrane song, or
yeah,
it's a reference, or something might get said in passing between characters that kind of. But you always doing it through the whole thing. You kept it through the whole thing.
yeah. And it really it again, it's a part of the, you know, the architecture. And in these, you know, these moments, important moments in the novel, he references Coltrane's song, you know, to enhance the moment. I know if you recall when he was about to go get in it, he's going looking for
Yep.
the girl. He
Yep.
references Alabama,
Yeah.
right? And Alabama, which was the song that Coltrane wrote after the bombing at the church in Alabama. He wrote that song as an act of mourning. So that song comes up in my novel at one of the most important junctures when he is about to get in it and doesn't know if he's going to make it.
So, athletes, we all have routines, rituals, practice, schedule, everything like that. Give us an inside look of like your writing practices, your writing routine. What's something that you need? Certain kind of music, incense, meals, snacks. I mean, what's your thing when you write?
Yeah, I write the Coltrane. I light a candle every day. I've been as a part of my ritual. Every day I come and I write a candle.
Is there a particular kind, particular scent, or does it really matter?
No, it's just I just feel like I need. I'm looking at it. It's burning right there.
Okay.
It's burning.
Okay, you got it.
So I light the candle as a ritual. I'm usually up by 5. Now, when I was writing the book, and I had a myriad of jobs over the course of the years when I wrote the book, but I would get up at 4 and drive across town to be at the coffee shop that opened at 4:30, so I could get my writing in before I started my job. And I want to say one thing about time. You often hear people say, I want to write, but I don't really have the time. Real writers don't look for time, they make time. That's what a real writer does.
Yeah. Come on, man.
One of my buddies is like, we got our MFA together, and he goes, yeah, I'm a write if I could find time. I said, well, why don't you just get up a little bit earlier? Yeah, that'll give you another hour or two. And he goes, yeah, well, shoot, man, I don't wake up in time. I said, well, why don't you go to bed earlier? If you went to bed earlier, you could wake up on. And ultimately, the writing's not important enough for him to make those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So back to your question, I'm usually at my terminal by 5:36.
Okay.
And I write every day. And if I'm not writing, I'm either reading or listening to a book. One or the other.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
It dropped. Yep.
Yeah, so if I'm not writing, yes, I'm either listening or reading. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 types of reading that I do. I read for fun, and then I read to learn.
Okay.
So there are 2 different processes. And typically when I read for fun, I'm reading outside of my genre.
So like what? Like an example of a genre, like.
So, I'm a huge James McBride fan.
Okay.
So anything he writes, I'm going to read. Percival Everett, anything he writes, I'm going to read. So I love Charles Johnson's books, and I love Jesmyn Ward.
Yes.
Right. So I Colson Whitehead.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read those books, but when I pick up a book like one of Walter Mosley's books, or Ace Atkins, or Sean Cosby, or any of the contemporary writers, it's impossible for me not to study and look for game. Try to figure out, man, how did they do this? I need to figure this out. So when I'm reading inside my genre, I usually have a pen, stickies, and a highlighter, because I'm trying to figure out, how are they making this work? But this is brilliant, and how do I pull it apart? So if I'm not listening, I'm either reading for fun I'm reading for work, or I'm writing, and I really don't watch TV
Really?
unless it's sports.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
'Cause I had a question for you about being in crime fiction. I know, like lately, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, for an example, a lot of the crime fiction things are being turned into series and stuff like that, and
yeah.
a lot of that stuff. Would you imagine this being a series?
It's already in motion.
Oh, well, there it is. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
the deal is cooking now.
I can't wait to see it then. I can't wait
Yeah,
to see it. I
yeah.
can't wait to see it.
The deal is in the works now. There should be an announcement pretty
Well,
soon.
let's go into that a little bit, right? You have a screenwriting background. I saw in your bio and everything like that. Like, do you have opportunity to be a part of that process with that, or like is it totally something different? Like, you know?
You know, I'm still trying to figure this out,
Okay,
Sean. Quite
yeah,
honestly, because
yeah,
you know I'm this is my I'm not how do I want to say this? Writing is my retirement. This is what I'm going to do.
yeah.
I'm gonna probably die with my finger on a keyboard.
That's right.
This is the last thing I'm gonna do, and I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out what that looks like. I just had last night in LA, I co-wrote and co-executive produced a remake of the Invisible Man series that premiered in LA actually last night.
Wow.
So I'm still screenwriting,
Yeah.
and I am, a long form novelist, and I'm not quite sure if the two things go together or if I just want to write novels.
Okay.
I
Okay.
haven't figured that out yet.
And I asked that question only because right now there's a big old controversy happening in the social media world. There was a sister that wrote some books, a series of books, and got picked up for a movie and everything, but like a whole uproar going down behind that right now at this point. I
Yeah,
don't know all the particulars about it. I'm not getting into that, but my point only is, for most of us writers, there's a dream to get your thing picked up by Netflix or picked up by, but then on the back side, the business of it, certain control you don't have, or certain rights you don't have, or you're giving up
yeah,
certain things, and
yeah,
it gets real tricky, man. So I'm just asking.
yeah. I know the story you're talking about, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sister that says she doesn't want to have anything to do with the
yeah.
movie.
She done with it. Yeah, she done with it.
Yeah, and part of what happens if you have a property that Hollywood is interested in, their whole goal is to take it away from you and own it wholly so that
Yeah,
they can then do what
yes.
they want to
They
do with
won't
it.
do with it. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
happen to have an agent who's a killer.
Okay.
That ain't gonna happen to me.
Hey, again, Jay-Z said I got a money hungry lawyer that'll eat the case. You know what I'm saying?
My agent,
Eat the case.
my agent's a killer.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. Speaking of killing, so in your book, there is, of course, action and violence and all this stuff. I love to ask my writers, like, whenever you're writing a action sequence, you having a football background, being that it's a violent sport, you know what it's like to be hit or to hit somebody.
yeah.
I always tell when I'm reading something, this guy never been punched in the face before, or you never punched somebody.
Right,
So
right.
my question is, you having that physicality, does that help you with your action sequences and understanding how certain things feel and, you know?
Yeah. Well, 100%. That's a fact. I mean, I know what it's like for somebody to point a gun at me. I know because it's happened, right? So I know what that's like, and so it's basically me accessing those emotions and make sure that I bring them onto the page. And you ask an interesting, you bring up an interesting point about sequence. I study the writers that I think do it well. So if you are a writer and you want to understand an action sequence or particularly a fight scene, read Jack Reacher novels.
Man, come on, man. I love reaching. I love
Man,
reaching. Come on, man. I love it. I love it.
man,
I love
that
it, man.
dude,
I love it. I love it.
he can turn 30 seconds into the most beautiful movements and
Is that Tom Clancy?
No, it's
Who wrote that?
man, I'm having a
So,
sometime this
so,
moment.
so did Tom Clancy do Jack Ryan? I get it confused.
He did Jack Ryan. Jack
Okay, there you
Reach
go. Okay,
is
okay.
come on, man. We can't.
It's all good. It's all good. I just wonder.
Yeah.
I love that series though, and I do have some of his books.
Yeah. Let's see. Jack Reacher is man, I love this dude and can't remember his name.
Because even on the Tom Clancy side, didn't Michael B. Jordan do Without Remorse? That's an amazing movie. Without Remorse.
Yeah. It's Lee Child.
Man, I don't know how I missed that up. Lee
Yeah,
Child.
right. It's crazy.
God, man, you said it. My mind said, God, I knew that,
Yeah,
man.
Lee Child.
Yeah, a bunch of books.
Yeah. I study Lee Child. I'm saying when I want to know how to do a fight scene, I just go
Lee
look
Child.
at Lee Child.
Lee Child, yeah. What's your take about that, man? Like Tom Clancy, Lee Charles, of course, James Patterson, all these guys. Like, whenever I go to certain bookstores, for an example, I go a lot here, there's an actual wall. It's all Patterson, bro. Like, she has so much work. And my mom loves James Patterson, right? So I'm always trying to find her something she don't have. He has so much work. I can almost get any book. She ain't got it because he got so many books.
So many books, and
Tom
he's
Clancy got a wall. You know, these guys got walls. Walter Mosley probably got
yeah,
a wall. You
and
know
and
what I'm
he's
saying?
created a machine, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he partners with other writers. I
yes.
mean,
So do.
he's got a whole enterprise. I ain't
Yeah,
mad at him. I love the hustle, man.
yeah. So do you imagine being like a wall writer yourself? Like you said, to keep on cranking them out, keep on
Yeah,
putting them.
man. That's the aspiration is to write one good book after another, right? That's the aspiration, just to continue to work on my craft, get better, write one good book after another until, like I said, I take my last breath with my finger on the keyboard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to ask you about fatherhood in this book, man, because I'm a father of a daughter, right? And it's a wonderful father-daughter relationship in this book, but a powerful tension between providing for your family and like actually being present. I think all of us guys struggle with, I gotta go and get it, I gotta go and make it, like we said earlier, but then I gotta be here. But if I'm always here, I'm not going to get it. So
Yeah,
it's like this crazy dichotomy that we gotta all struggle and wrestle with. And
yeah,
most of the guys that I know, they're working 4, 5, 6 jobs, work 24/7. You can buy all the things, but you ain't never there. You ain't never at the crib.
right. And it's that question of Coltrane asked himself in the novel when he starts to transform, well, what is love? Right? Is it providing? Is it making sure that you have, the best shoes, the best education, the best the da 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 da? All that comes with time and attention. What you need, what you need to do in order to earn that, and that takes you out of the house. So is that love, or is love being there to read to you, to tuck you into bed, but at the same time, I got to worry about how we're going to eat? Is that
Right.
love?
Come on. I tell you what, as a guy that lost my job a lot of times over life, whenever I had those stretches of no work and I'm always home for all the things, it don't feel good, bro.
Come on.
Because you're worried, man. The bill's coming up, the light bill or this bill. They got the school thing coming up. I can't provide nothing for the school thing, but I'm here though. We can do
Yeah,
homework.
yeah,
We can ride the bike. We can go to the park. I'm here.
yeah. And
They ain't trying to hear that.
yeah, and I think, yeah, and I think that touches in on something else that's innate in male DNA, where we want to provide. Like that's what we do. That's a male thing, is to figure out how to be a provider. And when that is absent or taken away from us, we're unfulfilled.
Yes, yes. Because
Yeah,
even though you're at home for 3 weeks, you're not making money. You're probably depressed. You
yeah,
probably have anxiety. So you're not really all that good to be around at that time anyway.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right. Right.
you got to figure it out. You
Right.
know, so I think all guys wrestle with that, man. Um, let's talk about meditation and healing because a lot of part in the book too is talking about meditation techniques and methodologies and different practices and things like that. So how much that important in your actual real life? You mentioned therapy earlier in the conversation. How much of that is real?
It's real. I'm a meditator. I say that my mind is my instrument and meditation is how I keep it fine tuned. Um, yeah, I'm a meditator. I believe in it. It's changed my life. It's made me a better person. And I think one of the things that happens in the book is that the main character is coming to grips with the decisions that he's made. He's coming to realize that he has made some bad decisions. But the only way that he has been able to recognize those bad decisions is by sitting in silence and being quiet and to meditate and to come to grips with, man, this is who I am. This is who I've been. But there's hope for me that I can change.
And let's go talk about them strong women in his life that help him to show the vulnerability and the softer, gentler side, and to be more present, mindful. The women in his life, that daughter once again, and the love interest to help facilitate that. You know,
Yeah, I think our women, whatever their form of communication is that they're asking that of us to be in relationship with them and exhibit vulnerability. We make mistakes, I think, as men and see vulnerability as weakness, when I think it's the exact opposite. Vulnerability is a superpower. And through meditation, for me, what I've learned is I can be vulnerable and strong. Like I'll cry in a minute. You say the right thing to me, I'm a cry. I'm crying in public, and that's just how I get down. I've gotten to the point through meditation and this journey. It's helped me to strip away that veneer of ego, right? Not I'm not don't please don't make the mistake that I'm saying that I have evolved and I have arrived. But much of the ego that I used to carry around, being that dude, that athlete, the dude that walk into the club, boom, that's me. Much of that has been stripped away, melted away through meditation, where when you engage with me, you get my best. You're going to get my absolute best. I'm going to open myself up. I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to give to you the same things that I would want someone to give to me, because I know that there is nothing that you can do to actually hurt me. Because like Coltrane, if it gets physical, I can go there too. But we're not talking about that. We're
right,
talking about we're talking about what someone might say, what, how someone might characterize you, how you might be misunderstood. None of those things hurt or bother me. And so
right.
I can come to you, and I hope one of the things that shows up in the novel is this sense of vulnerability from me as a writer through the characters, that hey man, this is who I am, this is what you get, this is an honest take, and
Yes.
and I'm okay with how you feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that athletes are taught enough about how to care for their mind after spending so many years being taught how to push and punish our bodies, man? Like I know in today's time, mental health is a lot more of a buzzword, mental health and therapy and counseling and medicine. But like, us and above us, in our generation of athletes, man, it wasn't as much talked about taking care of your emotions and your mental. It was about suck it up, get back out there, get back on the field, the next play,
Yeah,
shake the cobwebs off, get back out
yeah,
there, stuff.
yeah. It's an interesting question because the lines are so thin, right? The line between you know pushing pushing through something and self destruction, and the line for you is different than the line for me. So it's all we're always trying to regulate, where those boundaries are. But to answer your question, I think no, there isn't enough time spent with that because athletics and football in general is a game based on principles of war, right? It's
Yeah,
war.
yeah,
This is
it
this
is.
is this is bomb. This is blitz. This is rush. And so war has nothing to do with how you feel. It's kill or be killed. And so this game that's based on, the principles of warfare doesn't actually have a lot of room for taking care of your mental. And the only reason that it's come up now is because what has been happening around CTE.
Yes, yes. hmm
Yeah.
all the suicides and the homicides and
Yeah.
the Aaron Hernandez thing that came out and all that stuff.
I mean, Parkinson's,
Parkinson's, yeah.
Lou Gehrig's disease,
Mhm.
athletes dying young, and yeah, I mean,
Let
there
me
is
ask you.
there isn't
Let me,
enough.
let me ask you a hard question for anybody, a parent watching this, right? What's your take on letting your kids play football? Like in hindsight, looking
Yeah,
back on it, what's your take on letting your child play football?
yeah. I certainly wouldn't have my kid putting on a helmet before he's at least 15.
Okay,
I wouldn't do it,
okay, okay,
especially if it's a skill position.
okay.
I'm and I'm not one of those dads that would say, no, you're not going to play. But I would be like, man, can we try golf or baseball or, or,
Something.
or something that's not going to tear your body up like mine. I mean, I just had a knee replacement.
Wow.
I got bad shoulders, like my
Right,
hands all messed up.
right.
It's that stuff comes
You
with a
know,
cost.
what's crazy? I saw a brother online. He meant well, and I got the message, right? He had this rant going off about like we should stop letting our kids play sports, and we need more doctors and scientists. And he was just going off like stop letting our kids play. I know I gained so many things from sports.
Oh,
I'm not imagining being who I am without sports in my life. I'm
me,
not imagining the things the intangible that I learned. I'm not imagining that without sports.
yeah.
I really, really don't. I
I
don't
tell
imagine the principles, man. I don't.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. I was
Yeah.
third grade.
Okay.
We used to get these sheets. The teacher would give us these sheets, and we would pick our books and go home and get the $3.50 from moms or whatever.
Oh
Take
yeah.
it
Oh
back
yeah.
to school, and we would get our books. And the
Okay.
first book that I ever bought was called "From Ghetto to Glory: The Story of Bob Gibson."
Wow. Bob Gibson. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
So I get this book. I'm in the third grade, and I read the book. And inside of the book, Bob Gibson is talking about getting a scholarship to go to college and play ball, and how that led to him uh, playing professional baseball, and he bought his mom a house, right?
Right. Come on now.
So I'm reading this. Now I'm third grade. Nobody in my house has ever gone to college. My mom is a maid, and I know that things aren't quite right in the house. And so what I say is, well, I'm gonna do what Bob Gibson did. I'm
That's
gonna
right.
play sports. I'm gonna
Yep.
go to college, and I'm gonna buy my mom a house. And so I dedicated my life to sports that early. And talk about not playing sports, man. Sports and took me all over the globe. What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
What are you
Come
talking about? I
on.
have 2 degrees, master's degrees, because
Oh
of
wow.
sports. Right?
Wow.
I went to college for free. Well, man, come on.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Come on, man.
Like you
Yeah.
said, the MFA program you did.
Yeah.
MFA.
And
Wow.
and the principles, like you said,
That's what I'm. The
you learn
principles.
in
Man.
sports,
Mm.
you don't get to learn those any other place because the results are instant. If you
Because
didn't
again,
if you didn't do it right, you
oh
got
man,
beat for a touchdown. You got
bro,
dunked on, whatever it is.
we had those old school coaches to where I'm sure even my junior high coach, it's probably illegal right now. I think we did at practice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And there was the camera back then. He going to jail probably. You done. You know, rest in peace now. But you
Yeah.
know, those guys showed us fatherhood, manhood, like you said, principles outside of the game, and they kept a strict program, they kept them tight. And whenever I see those guys, you know, today, I go and thank them and give them a big old hug, man. Like those
Yeah.
guys, really,
Yeah.
they were the shape who I
Yeah.
thought manhood was. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't youth sports wasn't about money back
no,
then like
it
it
was
is.
no money. it was no money. So yeah,
Exactly. So
it's straight love. The, the,
that's
the, the,
right.
ref, the ref we doing the whole week tournament for the weekend, probably barely getting paid.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
keep
But it was
repping all weekend. The
for the
coaches,
love. We out here. We for the kids.
yep,
We trying to keep them out of trouble.
yep.
I'm gonna coach them. I'm gonna give them the
Boom.
principles, and
They're
then I'm
dropping us, pick us all up, and bring us
yeah,
all back, all
yeah,
over the city. Come
yeah,
on, man. That's way beyond their duties. It's way beyond their scope what they got to do.
yeah, yeah.
I
This
can't
and
imagine life
yeah,
without that, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a different day, and obviously, what and the changes are we are seeing the money trickle down. It trickled down from professional sports to college. Now it's in high school,
Yeah,
right?
man.
And now where it's showing up in youth sports, and
Yep.
it whenever there's money, you start to attract a different kind of element. Not
Yeah.
every coach is in it for the kids. There are a lot of coaches that are in it for the dough. And what I foresee coming, especially with this NIL thing that's happening, you're going to see, if it hasn't already happened, I mean, kids going into ninth grade signing deals,
Yeah.
right?
It's
They
happening. It's happening.
okay,
It's
okay.
happening.
So
Because Nike and Adidas and all this, they happen on the train early.
yeah,
I'm gonna sign you before anybody else can sign you. I'm gonna sign you
right.
early as I can. And now you for us for life or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that I mean that steals some of the joy.
It does.
It steals some of the joy, and you athletes face earlier. Athletes and families are now going to face earlier the problems that they would face later on. And so when you give that kind of money to
A child.
who has no idea what that means.
And beyond the child, like you said, beyond that child, right? Most likely your whole generation, your whole tree never saw this amount. So
Never.
your mama, your daddy, your uncles, your pastor, they have no idea what to do with this amount of money. Correct.
Zero.
They
Zero.
could mean well, not the malicious, they just don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. They have no idea
You'll
about
never see it.
tax implications and investing, and they think they do. When some money comes around, everybody got a deal. And what happened? And this happened to me. So I know I ain't telling you nothing that is fabricated. When you are identified as any kind of talent, especially in the arts, that can generate some dough, the vultures descend.
Yeah, man.
They are coming, and
Yeah,
they're coming out of nowhere. They are showing up because you represent a payday.
yeah, yeah. I just saw Shannon Sharp on a club station. Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, and they're talking about success. And like when you finally get it, you got to have the power to say no, man. Got to be strong. Like
Yeah,
the people in your life that did certain things when you was a kid to come up and everything. Like how long do you owe somebody? So
right.
you bought me some sneakers in junior high to go to camp. You did. Okay, cool. But like, do I owe you forever for some sneakers back then? I bought you a house.
Yeah,
All the stuff.
right,
Or I paid for your kids' college or whatever you did.
right,
And you still make me feel as if I'm obligated for something you did back in the 90s or whatever. Like, come on, man. Like that's crazy, bro.
right, right. And it's especially if it's family, it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
And right, and we oftentimes think we're obligated and need to do what we can to take care of our family. They're right. What we need to do is learn how to take care of ourselves first.
Got to. Got to. Got to. I got one last thing for you before you get out of here, man. Let's talk about San Diego. The whole backdrop of the story. What I love is you were so vivid and detailed about San Diego. As I said, I was stationed there for like 2 years, man. So like a lot of what you're talking about, I'm thinking about those streets, thinking about those places and those buildings. And, it's vivid to me, right? So like San Diego is like a character within the story itself.
Yeah,
Tell me about like the importance of that for you to have San Diego so embedded in that thing like that.
yeah. San Diego does four things well. It's got the best weather in the world, the best Mexican food in the country, does Heisman trophies well. There have been 4 running backs out of San Diego to win the Heisman Trophy in that little town, and crime. But no one knows about the crime because the Chamber of Commerce does such a good job of promoting, the sunshine and the palm trees and
Yeah,
the
right,
attractions that
right.
the idea that San Diego has a contiguous border with Tijuana,
Come on, man. Bro,
right?
when I was in
Tijuana.
the military, we stayed in TJ. When I was in the military, we stayed, bro. I was
Come,
18 years old. I can't go out in San Diego. I can't go out in Diego. I gotta cross the
yeah,
border.
right. So,
Me and my
so
dogs cross that border every weekend, man. Four
man,
times,
come
four,
on,
4 days a week.
come on. And if you there was just a story in the paper a few weeks ago about a tunnel from Mexico that went, way into San Diego, and they pull up in a store that was just a front. But what they've been doing for years is
Wow.
is moving cocaine and meth. Now, if you're from San Diego and you grew up in the cut, you know this. That's a known fact that that's going down. And we know that if they found one tunnel, man, there's about 25 more that they haven't found. So
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah, so you
That's
have
right.
so you've got the border, and
Yeah.
then you've got, as you know, that high military presence where you
Yeah.
bring all of these young testosterone-filled males into the region. You've
With
got
money.
33 million tourists that
With,
come every year, and you got
with,
weather year round.
like we said, with money. Young with money.
Young with money. What do you think is going to happen? what do you
The
that,
ingredients for disaster.
man? I call that's a stew for debauchery. And
Yeah.
so I
Yes.
just
But
I was on I just there's a feature coming out on me in the LA Times that it's
Okay.
coming out, and I was just with the reporter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll. I think it's going to come out right before September 1st.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm explaining this, to her, and she says, "Well, yeah, but why didn't you write about LA?" I said, "Well, the drugs got to come through San Diego to get to LA. San Diego's ground zero."
Yeah.
And what San Diego does is that duality between all of this beauty that you see and that underbelly that's
Mhm.
right around the corner. People come to San Diego all the time and they go to the gas lamp, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about the gas lamp and the nightlife and da da da. Less than a mile away is Barrio Logan, where it's rough knuckle over there. It could be. You might not want to be over there in certain parts of the barrio at dark, but
Tell you what, bro.
it's right
I
there.
never, I never got G checked so much in my life in San Diego, and mostly by the women, more than the
Yeah,
guys. I'm just trying to match my outfit. What up,
yeah,
blood? I'm like, man, I'm chilling.
yeah,
What up, cuz? I'm like, nah,
yeah.
man, I ain't
Right,
even on that, man.
right,
I
right,
ain't even down here. I ain't
right,
even on it. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Yeah,
right, right.
yeah,
And
it was like that.
yeah. And most outsiders that come to San Diego, they mistake what it looks like. They've never seen gangsterism look like palm trees. So they don't get it. And
Don't.
there's a thing that we always knew growing up in San Diego, that when people come from out of town, they completely misjudge how dangerous San Diego could be.
True.
They don't get it. They don't get it. I mean, and if you can go to the internet now, and there's this talk about, in San Diego in particularly, because Los Angeles casts such a large shadow.
It does.
It casts a large shadow,
It
and
does.
oftentimes San Diego gets lost in that shadow when you think about uh, black economic power, when you think about black community, when you think about gangs and what city is tough and who got the OGs and who handled it. San Diego is never thought of in that way. But I've lived in at least 10 cities. I mean, from Chicago to
Yep.
LA to
Yep.
Oakland.
Yep.
I've been all over. San Diego is no cupcake town. Trust me.
No. No, it's not. No.
Yeah.
I would never say that. I would never say that.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Heisman Trophy, right? I'm mad because I was in San Diego whenever Reggie Bush was in high school, and I never caught a Reggie Bush game. I'm mad about it.
Ooh, man.
I was down there at that time. Reggie Bush was in high school, man.
Let me tell you something. First time I saw Reggie Bush play, I got this thing. If it's Friday night and I'm out and I see some lights, I just go to the game.
Okay.
So I'm out. I go and I pull up on a game, and man, I'm like, who is this?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
I
sir.
think he might have scored 6 touchdowns. I mean, they couldn't touch him. I'm like,
I believe it.
who is this? Who is this dude? And I think I was just back in town after being away for a while. So I went and asked. I'm like, man, who? I just saw this dude, this kid play at Helix. His name is Reggie Bush. They're like, oh yeah, he the truth.
The truth.
He the truth.
Yeah. The truth.
And San Diego don't have 4 Heisman Trophy winners, and all come out of that little tiny community. They all live within 6 miles of each other. Marcus Allen, Ricky Williams, Rashawn Salam, and Reggie Bush.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
So my question is, in your future books, do you imagine San Diego always be in the setting, or will you change it up? Because I had Dr. Ian Smith on the podcast twice, and he has a series of books, but they're all based in Chicago. Every one of his books is Chicago-based, Chicago guys. So, like, will you do the same kind of thing, or will you change it up?
I think so. Like I'm working on book 2 now.
Okay.
It's set in San Diego.
Okay.
Book 3 is set in San Diego. But I do have an interest in you, as you know, one of the characters in the book is from Mississippi.
Yep.
And I do have an interest in seeing if I could figure out how to write from Mississippi. But one of the things I don't want to do, and you mentioned it earlier, like you could tell when somebody's never been hit.
Yeah, they just
I don't want to write about Mississippi and not have it be real.
Yes.
I
Don't say that Starbucks is this type of trying to imagine moss trees and bayous and don't do it.
Yeah, right.
Don't do it like that. Don't
Yeah,
do that.
and you know that's not my experience. Like I don't know that. What I know is palm trees and sand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now you know what's interesting. So before Ernest Gaines passed, rest in peace. I went to like 2 of his book signings. Right, Ernest Gaines said he would go to California and be on side of some beach with the big old bay window, writing about down south.
Yeah,
I found that interesting.
yeah.
I thought he was here writing this stuff. He was in California writing about this.
Right. You know that solitude of that beach or that water lets you access that subconscious, man.
Yeah, it opened up.
It opened you up.
He sure did say that though for the book signing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Well, all right, man. I don't want to keep your time, respect time, man. But man, once again for the audience, enjoyed the book, loved the book. I give it a 5 out of 5
Tear the
stars.
city down.
Tear the city all the way down, brother.
Yeah.
You did that book. You mentioned to be in a series, so man, whenever the next book come out, man, please come back to the show. I love having returning guests. Please come back, show love, and we're gonna big you up, man.
Man, I got you, Sean P.
Please.
I'm rocking with you. I like your motion, as my son would say. You got motion.
Hey, I'm gonna take that. Count okay. Well, have a good Friday, have a good weekend, man, and be blessed. And I look forward to your future writing, man.
You too, my brother. Peace and
All right,
blessings.
man. Peace.